So WWDC 2024 was absolutely packed, but what I did was select the things that I think the average user is going to care about the most, and don't worry about it, we will get to AI in just a minute. So starting with the AirPods, we're getting new ways to interact with Siri. For example, let's say you're somewhere where you don't want to talk, you're listening to something, you get a call and then Siri asks you if you want to answer. You can now just nod your head no and Siri will dismiss the call for you. If you have the AirPods Pro, you're also getting noise isolation, which is going to help remove distracting background noises, and it will isolate and enhance your voice so that the person that you're talking to can hear you clearly. Now, have you ever been watching a movie or a show and you see an actor, you can't remember their name or where you know them from, or maybe you're just hearing a song in the movie and you can't name it? Well, if you use the Apple TV app, they are adding a new feature called Insight, which will let you select any of the actors that are shown on the screen and then see their background and filmography page. You can also quickly see what song is playing in that particular scene, and then if you want, you can add it to your Apple Music playlist. What's also cool is that if you use your iPhone as your Apple TV remote, you can see Insight directly on your iPhone. Another cool feature which I've seen integrated into certain TVs is enhanced dialogue, and that uses machine learning and computational audio to isolate and then enhance dialogue. And this will really help you hear what the actors are saying during action scenes or when there are distracting background noises without having to increase the overall volume. There are also some cool subtitle features. So for example, it can automatically turn subtitles on when you mute a movie, or when the language in the movie doesn't match the device language, or even when you're skipping back while you're watching something. Now, tvOS 18 also brings support for 21:9 movies and shows when you're using a projector, and there are some cool new screensavers that can use your photos, clips from movies and shows, and even some fun Snoopy ones. Now, with the iPhone and iOS 18, you can now have more options for customizing your home screen. You can put apps anywhere that you want rather than just having them arbitrarily stacked from top to bottom. And this is something that we've been able to do on Android for years, so it's nice to see Apple add it to the iPhone. There's also a new look for the app icons and dark mode, plus a way to customize the color of the icons to either match your background or just have them be any color that you want. Control Center got a huge upgrade where you can create pages or groups of controls, so things like media playback, home controls, connectivity, and you can easily swipe between them just like you can with the pages on your home screen. Now, there are more supported third-party controls, and you can customize how the controls are laid out. You can also switch or remove the controls on your lock screen, so instead of being stuck with flashlight and camera, you can have any of the supported controls in the gallery, and you can use the action button to quickly invoke a third control. There are also some cool new privacy features like locking an app, which means it will require authentication to launch. You can even have hidden apps which are locked in a folder and they aren't included in search results or notifications. We're getting a few fun updates to messages with new text effects that automatically amplify certain text, plus the ability to apply these effects to any text. You can now tap back with any emoji or sticker, and you can compose a message and then schedule it to be sent at a later time, which is something that I've wanted since I think I started sending messages. You're also able to tap into the satellite-based system that's used for emergencies, then send messages when you don't have Wi-Fi or a cellular connection. There are a bunch of new enhancements to the Mail app, starting with automatic categorization of incoming emails into a primary section for personal and time-sensitive emails, a transaction section for confirmations and receipts, updates for news and social notifications, and then promotions for marketing emails and coupons. There's also an interesting digest view which pulls together all of the relevant emails from a business so you can quickly scan for what's important. And that's great for things like flight or travel information. Then there's a new gaming mode which minimizes background activity to maximize frame rate and make wireless accessories like AirPods and gaming controllers more responsive. Now, I am not the most careful person with my electronics, and I'm always looking for solid protection. So first of all, a screen protector is a non-negotiable for me, but I always get bubbles or dirt stuck under it during the installation. So I love this ESR Easy applicator where I just clean the screen and then pull a tab and I'm good to go. Now, as far as cases for my iPhone 15 Pro Max, these 3 stash stand options from ESR have some really cool features. So all 3 of them offer military-grade protection, they are MagSafe compatible, and they have this cool built-in stand so you can always have your iPhone at the right angle. The CloudSoft case is the one that I typically have on because it uses this silicone and it has this super soft feel to it. If you want to show off the color of your iPhone, grab this clear hybrid case. And if you want the best protection, there's no question that the tough case is the way to go because it completely protects the front, the back of the iPhone, and then even the camera lenses. So click the link in the description for some great accessories, and thank you to ESR for sponsoring this portion of the video. Now, iPadOS also got the same customization options as iOS in terms of apps and the home screen, and we're also getting a new floating tab bar, which is going to really streamline app navigation. I'm actually super excited about this feature. SharePlay is also getting some updates, so when you're trying to help someone and they're sharing their screen with you, you can now draw on the screen to show them something. And you'll also have the option to remotely control their iPad with their permission, of course. We got a new calculator app on the iPad, which is an extended version of the app that you have on your iPhone, but the more interesting feature is the Math Notes calculator, which allows you to type or write out mathematical expressions and then see them being solved in real time and in your own handwriting. You can also assign variables and then see the results update in real time as you change value. And Math Notes can even create graphs to show you a more complete representation of what happens as the values change. Another nice feature that's really going to help me is Smart Script, which makes handwritten notes easier to read by smoothing and straightening them in real time. So maybe you can actually finally read what I'm writing on my iPads in my reviews. And I also like that there's spell check for handwritten notes. The new macOS Sequoia was introduced, and it has this really cool iPhone mirroring feature that lets you see and use your iPhone without having to unlock it. So let's say that you're working and your iPhone is in your pocket or in your bag. You can now see a mirror of it on your Mac, and you can navigate using the trackpad, you can type using the keyboard, and you have complete access to every app. You can even drag and drop between the iPhone and the Mac, and when you get an app notification from your iPhone on your Mac, it will automatically open that app in the iPhone mirroring mode. And this whole time, your iPhone is actually still locked. I also really like the new window arrangement feature, which helps with maximizing desktop space, and that means that I don't have to manually try to get the windows just right. Now, if you use Safari, you're getting a new reader mode, which removes distractions from articles and can highlight important information about the content or even create a summary or a table of contents. The viewer feature brings embedded videos front and center for easier viewing, but then puts them in a picture-in-picture mode when you click away so you can watch while still continuing to navigate. I also like the fact that Apple is continuing to expand the gaming capabilities, and it's interesting that they're creating a unified gaming platform across iPhone, iPad, and Mac. Now, watchOS 11 was also unveiled, and it brings some really nice features to keep you active and connected. So training load is interesting because it's going to measure the intensity and the duration of your workout and see how it impacts your body over time. So it compares the last 7 days to the previous 28 days, and it could help you make some informed decisions about your workouts, especially if you're training for a race. It uses an effort rating from 1 to 10 to measure and track how challenging the workout was, and cardio-based workouts use an algorithm that integrates things like your age, your height, and your weight, and then combines that with GPS information, heart rate, and elevation changes for better accuracy. I'm definitely interested in testing this out and seeing how accurate it is, so expect a video. And the new Vitals app can now measure health metrics like heart rate, respiratory change, wrist temperature, sleep duration, and blood oxygen, all while you're sleeping. So the watch tracks these and then creates a typical range, and that allows it to show you when something is outside of that range, which might help you make some changes. Now, it was pretty obvious at this point that Apple was holding something off until the end of the event, and that's AI. And in clever Apple marketing, they kept the same initials, but they're calling their implementation Apple Intelligence. And that's That's why they make the big bucks. So the goal of this system is to be personalized to each user, to be secure, and to be helpful and relevant. For example, Apple Intelligence can enhance your writing and communication with new writing tools. And it's nice that these are built into iOS 18, iPadOS 18, and macOS Sequoia, so you can use them system-wide. In Mail, you can now get a short summary of the email content instead of just seeing the first line, and this quickly gives you a better sense of what each email is actually about. And for long email threads, you can get a quick summary without having to open each message. Now, Apple also integrated this type of prioritization into the notification system, so even what you see on your lock screen becomes more useful. Now, you can record and transcribe audio in the Notes and Phone apps. And of course, if that's something that you do on a call, the participants are automatically notified that this is happening. Image Playground is super cool, and it can create fun images in seconds, and you can use those images in documents that you're working with or even just in messages for fun. You can also generate your own emojis, or what Apple calls Genmojis, by typing a description, and that includes creating ones that are based on the photos of people that you have on your phone. There are also some new features in the Photos app. For example, it can help you more easily find an image with a search string. So something like show me pictures of myself on a beach in Bali, which on my phone is not going to show anything because I've never been there. You can also use the new cleanup tool to identify and then remove distracting objects in the background of a photo. Siri can also now better understand context. So for example, if I ask Siri about a certain location, and then I say, schedule a meeting for me there tomorrow at 8. Siri will automatically understand that there refers to that location. And that brings me to an important aspect, privacy, because the vast majority of the processing is done on device. Now, in specific situations where the system identifies that it requires more processing power, then it shifts over to private cloud compute, where you're using servers powered by Apple Silicon. And Apple mentioned that independent experts can inspect the code that runs on the Apple Silicon servers to identify privacy, and that private cloud compute cryptographically ensures that a Mac, iPad, or iPhone does not talk to the server unless the software has been publicly logged for inspection. Apple is also integrating ChatGPT into its new operating system, so if you choose to, you don't have to use it, but if you choose to, you can now have access to it without having to create an account or switch between tools. And if you pay for a ChatGPT account, you can log in and then use the paid features. Now, I'd love to know which features you're the most excited about. You know what I always say, buy it nice or buy it twice.